Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA.
87454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. Invincible Fight Girl Episode 1. So a new cartoon came out. I'm actually reviewing it like as it comes out instead of waiting 10 months like I normally do. But I saw the trailer for this. I did a review of that. And I still feel almost exactly the same way as I did when I saw the trailer. It looks good. I like the characters. This girl's really cute. I like her design, the world and everything. It has its own little look to it, which is good. I'm glad it wasn't stupid bean mouth garbage and it actually looks pretty decent. So that got me to watch it. And if your show looks like trash from the beginning, it's really tough for me to go to put the time and effort into it. But visually, if it looks good, I'll at least give it a chance. So in this world, it's not Earth. It's a totally separate, different thing because like it shows the planet and like the country shaped like a muscle arm. So this is completely removed from reality, and which is fine. Then you can make up all your own rules. I can't just sit and just accept everything, especially when little things just bother me and it doesn't seem to be like they don't. When they made the show, they don't know the rules and they're just like making things up as it goes. And I hate that. There's a little bit of that. Overall, it's just okay. It just kind of reminds me of the Tomb Raider show. It's just okay. It's not horrible. It's not amazing. It just exists. So we'll jump right in. We get the beginning. We get narration. Keith David is in everything now. I love the man. I mean, I think his best work is probably as Goliath. He is Goliath. But he's in everything now, which is kind of, I don't know, oversaturation, but I still love the guy. But this world, like wrestling is everything. Like it's literally everything. There's like, I don't know if this world, it's like Pokemon. Like, is there political stuff? Are there wars? Do countries go to war? Or is everything just evolve around Pokemon? Like, that's how it is in that world. So in this world, everything revolves around wrestling, but it's really not wrestling. It's just fighting. Like, there's nothing, the only thing wrestling about this is that you have characters and people have like personas and stuff, but it's more like fighting. I don't know. Like it just seems to me that it should have been more wrestling like, but it's just like it'd be like if Street Fighter ruled the world and there's like, oh, it's fighting tournaments and there's fighters and everyone knows them. It could have easily just been that and just didn't have the whole wrestling aspect. But so we open up and it's like a Madison Square Garden, super event. And we see the main characters. She's like a little girl, maybe 6 years old. She's little. And her parents took her to one of these events. And we have a match that looks like it's supposed to be a tag team match. So you got these two fedora people versus this one guy. But it looks like a 2-on-1. Well, if it's a tag team match, why are they both in the ring? Is there no rules? See, I watched wrestling growing up as a kid. I mean, me and my brothers, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, my favorite guys, love The Undertaker. Just like that 90s and WWF Raw was just like everything to me. But I grew out of it, but I still enjoy the idea of wrestling. I do like the fact that it's just like a live, it's like a stage play, but people are beating the crap out of each other, and I love watching wrestling documentaries. There's a YouTuber, Kim Justice, absolutely amazing documentaries. Go check those videos out. They do retro video games, but they also do wrestling documentaries, and they're like 3-4 hours long. They go super in depth, very entertaining. Check those out if you like wrestling. So if you really, really like wrestling, definitely check out Kim Justice's videos. They're just great. But so there's no rules here, and that kind of irritates me. There should have been something going on. Like, okay, so where's the ref? So when you have a tag team match, you have 2-on-1. Like, that's not fun. So these two wrestlers are beating up this one wrestler. They're about to win. And I do believe the announcer says tag team. But then this other wrestler just shows up. And is this other wrestler on the other guy's team? But it doesn't look like she is. She just goes in there and beats both the other people up and then pins them while they're face down. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyone who knows anything about wrestling, you can't pin people that way. they have to be on their backs, and they have to be face up, and then you pin them. You can't pin them face down. You know, like little things like that just bother me. Like that's the most simplest understanding of how wrestling works. And if this was wrestling and it's supposed to be based off of, like the WWF, WCW type stuff, that they couldn't get that correct. It just, I don't know. It just that just put me a sour taste in my mouth. But I guess they're just focusing on the spectacle of it because it looks great. The fight looked amazing. Like it has all these great camera angles and slams and a jump bouncing off the ropes and all this kind of cool stuff. But when it comes on the technical stuff, I want those things to be correct. So this girl wins, but did that other guy win? Was this a tag team match? But the announcer says now she's like the world champion. So was it a singles match? Well, I don't understand what's going on. But this little girl's enamored with this character, and it looks like it's her. She looks like the wrestler. It could be like her older sister. Wouldn't it be great if there's a time travel plot and this is her from the future and she came back to like inspire herself to become the wrestler that she is now? Wouldn't that be great? That's my prediction. This is her from the future, or it's a long lost relative, or it was a long lost sister or aunt or something, and she was shunned by the family because they're supposed to be tax people. I don't know. I just see that happening. But we get a 10-year time skip, and she grew maybe 3 inches. She's a tiny little lady. They do say that she's still a kid. So she must have been like 4 or 5 in this. And then 10 years later makes her like 15, 16 years old. But her parents are happy that she's going to become an accountant, because that's what they are. And in this world, there's wrestlers, and then every year they have to do their taxes. So there's these accounting people that have to do all the taxes for them, and that's like their lot in life. There's like a caste system in this world where if you're born in an accountant family, you have to be an accountant. Like, I don't think there's any laws against not being an accountant, but I guess the social norms of this world is that that's what you have to do. So she has to she goes to this academy to be an accountant, and it's like training. They go, everyone's in the thing, they're on their computers, and they're old school, like 1980s computers. Like when I first saw, the first time I ever used a computer was like an Apple II, and it had a screen like this. But mine, I remember, was an amber screen, like it was orange. I remember playing Math Munchers and like the original Oregon Trail, but this is what, like, it's just all like data code stuff, like data lines. And she like doesn't know how to do anything, which is weird. Like if she's gone to this academy and she's about to graduate, she literally learned nothing. This guy busts in the room and he's like, "Oh, level 6, everyone's down." And like, what's going on? I guess everyone got sick, and it's tax day tomorrow, so everyone does their taxes on tax day. But you can do your taxes earlier. I mean, I probably do my taxes as soon as I get my W-2. It's usually around like February. I just do it. So like everyone literally waits to the very last day. I guess. So they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. All the junior people that are learning right now, you're going to do the taxes because no one else can do it. Apparently only one school does the taxes in this whole island. I guess maybe it's a small island. But so all the juniors have to do like the senior work now. And they're not technically like graduated yet, but they're going to have to do this because they have to do the taxes. Okay, and this is another thing that bothers me. Every show has this. You have to figure out a way to explain the world to the viewer. Usually it's done through a stupid character. I famously always bring up in the DC cartoons, usually it's the Flash. He's an idiot. He's a lovable moron. So things get explained to the Flash, but they're really just explaining it to the audience. So you get the same situation, but here it makes no sense because as he explains it, then all the questions start popping up. So apparently in this world, or on this island, pre-K, we're talking little kids have to go, they start learning to be accountants. Then they grow up and graduate and they become accountants. This girl doesn't know this. How could she not know this? Wasn't she one of those kids in the pre-K program? Hasn't she been doing this for the last 10 years? How could she not know? In the comments, am I missing something? Was there a line of dialogue I missed where she explains why she doesn't know how any of this works? So she literally learned nothing, but she's like, oh, we have to do the taxes. That means we're going to meet wrestlers. And oh man, I just want to ask them a bunch of questions. And not once did she ever think that she would actually have to do their taxes. Like that thought never goes into her head. What is she, stupid? So she gets home and then she's like eating her food really fast because she's super excited. And this is like it's a very it's the world is like very Japanese, but then it's not. It's weird. But she's like, oh, you must be excited for tomorrow. But then the parents are like, I don't know if you're ready for this to actually do the taxes, because everyone's afraid of the wrestlers. They're like, oh, they're mean. If you make a mistake, they're going to beat you up and do all these terrible things to you. And I guess they're just allowed to do that. There's no like laws, like they could just kill you and like there's no repercussions for that. But our girl sneaks out and practices wrestling. Like she built herself a ring out in the woods and stuff. And she watches like these Uncle Rico tapes. Remember? Well, no, it's like Rex Kwon Do. It's it's like this guy teaching like basic wrestling moves, but it's almost like a Bob Ross type character, where he's like, well, today we're going to teach you how to do an ankle lock. And I got my good friend here to show us how it's done. It's like old school like wrestling tapes. So she watches it. She learns how to do this ankle lock thing. And she's like, oh man, I can't wait to do this. I'm going to talk to these wrestlers. It's going to be great. She wakes up late on tax day. Like she fell asleep in the ring. Questions. You knew how important this was. You were late. 2, where are her parents at? Weren't they had made sure she was awake and ready to go for the tax day? They didn't care where their daughter was. Little things like this just bother me because it doesn't make sense at all. And I know the show's silly. I know it's stupid, but you got to have some grounded moments where things make sense. You don't just do them for like silly plot reasons. I mean, you didn't want to come up with the real reason. You could have had the same exact thing happen. She got ready early to be there because she wanted to meet the wrestlers. Too many people on the bus line. Things got shut down. All the taxis are taken. The train derailed. You make up another reason why she was late for school. Not that she just fell asleep and she's being a dumb McDummerson. Anyway, she shows up late, sees all these wrestlers. The main teacher lady's like, hey, come here. You're not going to do this because you suck. You literally got the worst grades out of anyone, and I don't want you screwing this up. So I'm sidelining you. You don't get to do this. As long as you just shut up and not interact with these wrestlers, I'll let you graduate. So they just push people through. Like that's it. Even though she literally can't do anything. I thought for sure she would have been really good at her job, but her secret passion was to be a wrestler. Even though she was good at being an accountant, where her heart was being a wrestler. No, she just absolutely she doesn't even know what math is. Like that's how dumb they make her this character, which is, I don't know. I don't like it. So she's walking around outside the building all super sad. And then there's another boy, I guess the kid that sits next to her. He's like a loser because he's white and blonde. So he has to be a coward and a loser and a dum-dum and an idiot. And he's like, oh, I can't do this. And then she's like, oh, somebody's going to have to take your place. You're going to let everybody down. I'll take your place for you. So she gets to his desk and she's going to just take on any client. She just wants to talk to a wrestler. Then we get these like 4 dudes. It's a team. They're like the Ginyu Force. There's a lot of that where it's like, oh, that's from this other anime. This is from this anime. I'm sure there's like 1,000 references. And when you have Easter Egg the show, I don't know. I've never been a fan of Easter egg culture. I bet you. I don't watch any other people's videos. On anything that I talk about, I never watch another person's video. I guarantee you there's already 1,000 videos out there saying the top 100 things you've missed in this episode. Oh, the top 50 references in the first episode of Invincible Fight Girl. Those kinds of things, I can't stand that because there is no thought and effort put into it. So these guys are basically the Ginyu Force, and they're dancing around doing like their big thing. And she's like, oh, I'll take on these clients because I want to talk to wrestlers. They dump all the receipts on her. And then she realizes, oh crap, I actually have to do their taxes. She has no idea how to do her taxes. So she just starts talking to them and they're like, she's like, oh, do you think anyone can be a wrestler? And they're like, you think you can be a wrestler? And they just laugh at her, destroys her whole world. Like everything about her life is destroyed now. She's literally in tears and runs away crying. First of all, girl, why do you take anyone's opinion like it matters? If you want to do this, then do it. Stop being a coward and get it done. If you really truly believe that you want to do this thing, it could be anything in the world. You want to do it. You don't need someone else's permission. You don't need someone else to say, hey, you can do it. You go, girl. No, you just go out there, you grit your teeth and you get it done. So she just runs off crying and never does their taxes. She's sitting on the docks, and then all the wrestlers are going back home. So she cried for a whole entire day. That's what heroes do. And we see that those wrestlers here are supposed to have, they call it the perm gang or something, because they all have like perms. They're wrecking the place. They're not just wrecking the place, they're like destroying it like Godzilla stomped through town. Because now they have to stay an extra day because no one did their taxes. And she's like, oh, dang, I was supposed to do that. She goes, hey, guys, stop hurting everyone. It was my fault. We'll make it right. And she's like, oh, no, we have to teach all you accountants that this is your place. And so this is where we get a little more of the exposition of it's a caste system in this world. And they're like, oh, and they can do whatever they want. There's like, so anyone who's a wrestler is allowed to just harass and beat up and assault anybody else who isn't a wrestler. And I guess there's no laws against that. But then she stands up to him saying, hey, you're going to have to fight me instead of fighting these people. And just like Metabots, I mean, it is right out of Metabots. You challenge someone to a bro battle. There's a satellite in the sky, shoots down a ring and a ref, and then it's a sanctioned match. And then they come up with the rules. It is literally exactly like Metabots. We're even the same words, like this match is set up for one fall, either through submission, like you can set the parameters of the fight. It is exactly like Metabots. You can dip your toes into other things. You can reference things, but when you literally rip whole story elements away from other stories, I don't know, fam. That's not a good look. But then they get into a wrestling match, and this guy's just whooping the crap out of her. But I guess she's supposed to be like this 15-year-old girl who maybe weighs, I'm guessing 90 pounds. It's just a little kid. She's getting thrashed. She's getting a royal thrashing. How does she not die? Are people more durable in this world? This is why I don't like this fantastical style, because when she gets like drop kicked and stuff, it'd kill her. Like this guy looks like he weighs 500 pounds. But she can she's enduring it. She's getting kicked, beat up, but then the guy's going for the final blow. Her teacher, the one who didn't believe in her, is like, hey, leave that girl alone. She starts throwing things in the ring, and they're like throwing stuff at them. Where's the ref? The ref was there at the beginning of the fight. So there's like no rules. Like other people can just interfere with the fight and there is no like disqualification or anything. Like, I don't know. Like that just bothers me that you have this sanctioned fight. A ring comes down. You do all that. Then you just say rules go out the window. Who cares? Why don't you just bring a gun to the fight? Like at what point would they say, hey, that's against the rules? So they start fighting all the people out there and she's like, oh, these people believed in me. They're willing to, stand up to these bad guys on my behalf, and it was all my fault. And they're willing to get beat up and hurt for my benefit. How can I run away? Because that other boy's like, hey, let's get out of here. She's like, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to fight because I'm not going to let them sacrifice themselves to me without me even trying. So she goes for that leg lock. She misses it, and the guy's like kicking her and stuff, but she's able to kind of take it, but she's getting whomped. It, again, like I said, the animation's fantastic. It looks really, really, really good. She's getting thwomped, knocked around. Look at the shot. It looks cool. Someone said that this was a reference to Baki the Grappler, and it kind of showed the screenshot. I'm like, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of does look like that. But she did it to trick him to get close enough to his leg to get him in this leg lock. She gets him. She spins him around. Like I said, this guy's like 500 pounds. She's able to like flip him over. Unless she has like super secret powers or, like, oh, you're the great, long lost relative of this amazing fighter. And oh, you got her spirit in you. There's got to be some reason, right? But she gets him into the leg lock and he's trying to break out, but she's about to lose her grip. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to lose. This is the only move I know. Let's rewind time. Again, this is where Crimson Sin has to analyze things. She watched that video. Was that the first time she ever watched it? Did she literally learn no other moves? Because she says, this is the only move I know. Did she just learn it? Was she never not watching? Like she never watched any of those other tapes, but it looks like she did. So why is this the only move she knows? Like she wasn't strength training or doing anything. She was just like playing around. Oh my goodness. So this guy's trying to break out and he's throwing punches and kicks on her. But he's in a leg lock. How's he throwing punches? But She's holding on. She's holding on. She gets in the tap. He taps out. She wins. And she's all beat the hell up. And she's like, oh, I won. But then her parents are watching like, what the F? Why are you in that ring? Boom, into the episode. Like I said, I may have pointed out a lot of things for things like story building, characters. I love rules. God, do I love rules. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of rules in this show, which is fine. Which is, if that's the way they're going for it, but I'm going to complain about it every time. And I'm sorry. I don't turn off my brain for anything. I don't just say, pretty colors. No, I will not refuse just to pretend to be stupid to enjoy something. If especially when it's like, there could be, these aren't like something you can't fix. This isn't a world that doesn't need to have rules. It's not Looney Tunes. Like if there was no rules in a Looney Tunes cartoon, I get it because they're Looney Tunes. But there should be sanctioned stuff here. Like the ref should have been like, any interference from the crowd will be an automatic disqualification for this accounting girl. There should have been something. No, they just like let it happen. I don't know. We'll see. Like she got a pep talk from like, a Master Roshi type character. It's an old lady. Instead of being the turtle hermit, she has a big chili pepper on her back. And so that's like kind of gave her the pep talk of like, you can't become a wrestler. It has all the classic tropes of the hero's journey, which I love. I love the hero's journey. It's just like skipping a lot of the other parts that are necessary to make that very cliche storyline work better. But the animation's good. The character designs are nice. A little bit on the silly side with the wrestlers, but there is a lot of wrestlers that are silly. I will watch a few more episodes. Hopefully it gets a little bit better. Hopefully there's a little more to this than just like wrestling, like you win money. Like how's this world work? Is there a president? Are there, prime ministers? Are there actual laws going on here? Are there wrestlers that commit crimes? Like there's got to be something more to the story than just like everyone just wrestles. But it's okay. I don't know why it's on Adult Swim. Someone on Twitter told me it's on Adult Swim because action shows don't do well on Cartoon Network, so they moved it to Adult Swim. This has no business being on Adult Swim. This can be on, like I said, it's very Metabots. Like it can come on, like when I grew up with cartoons, after school, there was a cartoon hour on Fox Kids. This could be on Fox Kids. There's nothing about this that makes it to where this needs to be for like older audiences, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with a show aimed at younger audiences that's an action show. Let's just not pretend that it's just some kind of super grown-up thing that needs to be on Adult Swim. But I'll watch it once a week and do the reviews. I guess it looks good. That helps. If the show's visually nice to watch, I can get through it. But when something's ugly and lame and it has a really silly storyline, it's tough for me. But thank God this actually visually looks good. Like I said, a 5 out of 10. It's just okay. But keep watching the videos, guys. I'm trying to pump out more reviews. Work is just up and down. And sometimes, like last week, I just had no time during the week to do a video. But I'm trying to do more. And more suggestions. Let me know what you guys want to see. Do you like the reviews, like the game reviews? Let me know. I love you guys all. Everyone, like I've always said. Catch you on the next one. Crimson's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.